Curious how the relationship works between county and the new mayor, because she made it a point today, Mayor Bass, to say, I've been already working behind the scenes with the Board of Supervisors. So how will that relationship play out in the fight against homelessness?
Well, I think a lot of politics and government is about relationships. I've known Karen Bass for a very long time. I served with her in Congress, and she also is friends with the other supervisors. She's met, I believe, with all of us. I had lunch with her last week, just one-on-one, and we talked about this new sense of urgency and how we might link arms and instead of pointing fingers. And I think she's bringing this new urgent sense of, we've really got to do something now. And I think the public is ready to see some outcomes. I know everybody's been trying really hard. It's a very complicated problem. But the fact that just in the city of LA, there's 40,000 people who will be sleeping on the streets tonight is now at a point where she's going to consider it an emergency. And I think that's right, because, if there was a flood or an earthquake or a tornado or a landslide and people were displaced from their homes, what would we see? We would see FEMA come in. We would see the Red Cross. We would see the Salvation Army. We would see all hands on deck until people had a roof over their head. And I think that's the urgency that Karen Bass is bringing. And I am more than happy to marshal county resources to sort of meet that demand and meet that goal of the emergency.
Okay, well, it's nice to know that you have that collaboration, because it is so important, because as to your point, this is such a complex issue and needs that collaboration. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the fact that you have a new role. Congratulations, you are now the chair of the Board of Supervisors. We have a new sheriff in town in addition to that. So what are the tangible differences that the people of LA County are going to see with you in your new role, new sheriff, new mayor?
Well, I think if people are going to watch LA County Board of Supervisors meeting, they will see me bring back some of the pre-pandemic traditions that we had, that we lost when we went virtual. And two of those are, one, bringing back an invocation to start our meetings every Tuesday morning. And the other one is to have a veteran come and lead us in the pledge. And I let each supervisor, we rotate it. Each one gets to choose someone to lead the invocation, and then someone else gets to choose a veteran to lead the pledge. And I'm also going to bring the public back more in an engaging manner. I want the public to be able to speak on items as we take them up, so that we actually sit there and listen to the public before we engage and vote on an item. Because of the pandemic, we sort of front-loaded public comment, so we relegated it to about 90 minutes at the beginning of the meeting. But sometimes we wouldn't take up the item that someone spoke on, let's say 10 in the morning, till 3 or 4 in the afternoon. And by then, I think they've lost their ability to make their case to the supervisors. I think that's what democracy is all about. So they'll see those kinds of public engagement changes. I think with the new sheriff, what the public will see is the sheriff of Los Angeles County and the 5 supervisors working together, along with all the rank and file deputy sheriffs out there that are in our communities, working together to prevent crime, to solve crime, to work with neighborhoods. And I think that will be really positive. I think the public didn't appreciate that there seemed to be some tension between the previous sheriff and us. And nobody wants to fight all the time with another elected official. We may disagree, but I think this sheriff and us will be pulling in the same direction. We kind of want the same things, and I think he will really bring back the public's trust, because I think that's what he's going to work to restore, because it did get a little lost in the last few years.
Okay. Let me just ask you this. You now have the power to remove a sitting sheriff. Do you think that's too much power?
Well, we do have a lot of power already, but the voters of LA County wanted to give us more. Over 72% of the voters gave this Board of Supervisors the power with 4/5 forfeits those, we could take out the sheriff for just cause, for, you know, action that we felt violated, you know, our Constitution. So it is a lot of power. I don't think we're going to have to use it. I hope we don't have to use it, because I really believe in the free democracy will of the people. If they elect somebody, I think they should be the ones to remove it. But the voters had a different mind, and I think they wanted the sheriff to be more accountable to the Board of Supervisors. So I think we'll use it with great caution, and we will obviously do our due diligence before we would ever take that step.
Okay, I know your schedule is busy. I want to talk to you about potential indoor mask mandate that we could be seeing here, and we're going to wait for Alex to come back. When that happens, we're going to invite you back, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that, because I know that's on a lot of people's minds as well.
Well, let me just tell you that that is not something at this point that I would support. Okay. I don't think the public is ready for that, and I don't think they would follow that mandate. I think a better approach is to prevent us actually having to get to that point. I know personally I am focusing on making sure people get that last booster shot, that Omicron booster. I've got a vaccine van that my office owns, and we take it out to the shopping malls on the weekends, and we say, hey, you got all this stuff to check off your Christmas list? Check off getting that booster, because only 13% of those who are eligible have not gotten that final booster. So I'm saying, let's learn to protect ourselves. We don't need a mandate to tell us how to behave. And if you want to wear a mask indoor, if you feel compromised with your health, please do the right thing. I just think at this point, the public is not in favor of a mandated mask mandate. And I'm going to do everything possible to prevent us from getting to that point.
Very good. Well, we thank you so much for your time tonight. The new board chair of LA County Board of Supervisors, Supervisor Janice Hahn. Thank you again.
Good to be with you.